So I've spent the last few years building an SEO agency for software companies. And before that, I made every single SEO mistake there is. I got excited about rankings that brought zero revenue. I got locked into agencies with 12-month contracts that then stopped delivering after the first month. I built a content library around high volume topics while competitors captured actual buyers. And now companies come to us months after the same frustration. They've tried SEO, they've done what they're supposed to do, but yet they're still stuck. So let me save you years of wasted efforts with some brutally honest truths about SEO that most experts won't tell you. Let's jump in. Point number 1, traffic is a vanity metric. So last year we had a software company come to us with what looked like a success story. So organic traffic was up 70% year over year. They were ranking for thousands of keywords, healthy publishing schedule. On the surface, everything looked great. But there was just one problem. Sales from organic search was actually down 15%. They had just been optimizing to drive as much traffic as possible and hoping some of it would convert. And that mindset, well, that's what pushed their entire strategy completely in the wrong direction. When traffic is the North Star metric, every decision will flow from it. So you start targeting informational keywords because they have a higher search volume, and you create that what is content instead of comparison pages simply because more people search for it. So every strategic choice gets filtered through, will this drive more traffic instead of will this drive more revenue? So 500 visitors from a high intent keyword will always outperform 50,000 visitors from informational content. Let's say you own a restaurant. You don't celebrate how many people walk past your window. You celebrate how many people actually sit down and order. Point number 2, your SEO strategy is probably backwards. So most companies start with top of funnel content, and you know the stuff, what is X, benefits of Y, educational blog posts. And they build this massive content library that ranks for terms that no buyer would ever use. So what happens? Well, you end up educating prospects for your competitors to close. Because when those prospects are actually ready to buy, they won't be Googling what is X anymore. They're searching for the actual product or solution. They might be researching a specific pain point or just comparing brands. And you're invisible for those searches because you never created that type of content. You educated them, walked them through the problem, built their awareness, but then sent them straight to a competitor to close. At Exceed, we flip this entirely, and we call it bottom-up SEO. So we start at the bottom of the funnel with comparison content, brand alternatives, solution-specific pages tied to actual buying intent. And the philosophy is quite simple. We want to capture existing demand before trying to create new. And before we write anything, we ask one simple question. Will our clients see a commercial benefit from showing up for this topic? And if we can't see a clear scenario where someone searching this might be looking to buy, well, we skip it. Educational content does have its place, but just not before you're visible when buyers are ready to convert. Otherwise, you're just building awareness for someone else's pipeline. Point number 3, rankings without conversions are worthless. So listen, I've seen tons of companies rank number 1 for their target keyword and get 0 leads from it. They did everything right, targeted the right keyword, wrote high quality content, but their landing page took 8 seconds to load. It had 5 competing CTAs and a 14 field form asking for information before the visitor even knew what they offered. And here's the thing, SEO's job is to take someone from a search engine to your website, and that's really it. Your site's job is then to convert them once they arrive. So don't celebrate the position number 1 until you fix what actually happens after they click to your website. Point number 4, most SEO agencies are incentivized to waste your money. So agencies that lock you into 12-month contracts have no incentive to perform after month 1. They got paid, they'll send you reports, but the urgency is completely gone. And you know how this one plays out. The first 2 months are great, you get handed off to a junior account manager, the communication starts slowing down, and the results ultimately just plateau. And you're stuck paying for another 10 months. So here's what to look for. Agencies willing to operate on shorter contracts. It's that simple. Month to month, rolling 30 days, quarterly at most. And when an agency has to earn your business every single month, the incentive structure completely changes. They can't coast anymore, they can't deprioritize you. Every month is month number 1. And if they're delivering value, well, you will stay. And if they're not, you leave without any penalties. And when Joseph and I started Exceed, we made this our model. Rolling 30-day contracts. And most clients still stay over a year. And not because they're locked in, but because they're getting reoccurring value each and every month. Point number 5, content volume is not a strategy. And this is by far the biggest misconception in SEO. Just publish more content and you'll get better results. I've seen companies publish 3 articles per week for an entire year, 150 plus pieces of content, all of them ranking, decent traffic, but same results as a competitor who published 3 per month, but actually actually researched what people needed. Publishing 12 articles per month means you're spreading resources very thin instead of making a few pieces that actually drive results. And that's budget, time, and focus you could have used making fewer pieces but genuinely useful. One piece that actually answers what people are searching for beats a library of complete fluff. That quality will compound, but that volume won't. It's literally like going to the gym 7 days a week but half-assing every workout versus doing 4 really focused sessions that actually build strength. Point number 6. Good content is 10 times harder than it used to be. Everyone has ChatGPT now, which means that everyone can produce decent content. The internet is flooding with generic surface-level content that all says the same thing. And if your content reads like it could have been written by anyone, it will get buried by content that couldn't. Decent just is not enough anymore. And the companies that are winning today are not using AI to write faster. They're using AI to research even deeper. And using expertise that AI doesn't have access to, such as original data, unique insights, first-hand experiences that can't be replicated. Everyone now has access to the same information. Differentiation will come from using the unique insights that only you have. Point number 7. You're optimizing for Google, not for humans. And you've all seen this type of content. Every paragraph starts with what is, how to, or why does, just to trigger featured snippets. The articles are broken into 15 H2s because that's what ranks. Bullet points everywhere, tables for no reason, FAQ sections answering basic questions that nobody asked. You've created content designed for Google's eyes, but not the person actually trying to solve a problem. And here's how to shift that mindset. Start writing for humans who happen to use search engines. Google's algorithm is trying to predict what humans want, so just give humans what they want directly. And if you're forcing elements in your content that sound weird when you read it out loud, well, it's not going to help anyone. Point number 8. You're probably targeting the wrong keywords. So most companies pull a keyword list from SEMrush and just start creating content. But if you have a domain authority of 23 and you're targeting keywords with difficulty of 45, you won't rank. Period. You're spending months on content that never had a chance in the first place. At Exceed, we have a simple framework for this. Match keyword difficulty to your domain authority. So if you have a low authority domain under 25, only target keywords under 25 in difficulty. If you have a medium authority domain 25 to 40, you can go up to 35 to 40. High authority 40 plus, well, you can target keywords up to 50 in difficulty. But here's the important part. Even if you have a high authority domain, prioritize the quick wins first. Low competition keywords with strong buying intent for the first 3 to 6 months. Play at your level and get results fast. If you play above it, you're just going to waste months proving nothing. You don't compete in heavyweight boxing as a welterweight. It's a different weight class, a different strategy. Point number 9. Google is not your friend. So Google's job is to keep users on Google, not to send them to your website. They even get paid when people stay in their ecosystem. Zero-click searches are growing every year. AI overviews answer the question before anyone clicks. Feature snippets, people also ask boxes, all designed to keep users on Google. So here's what that means for your strategy. Stop targeting these queries that Google and LLMs can answer in a single box. AI will answer informational content both better and faster than you or I ever could, so nobody clicks. But when someone is searching best accounting software for small businesses, well, search engines can't satisfy that in a snippet. Users need to click through, compare options, and make a decision. So focus on bottom funnel keywords where AI overviews can't do the job. Comparisons, buying decisions, solution evaluations, because you're playing on someone else's field, but you can still win if you know which game to play. Point number 10. The best practices are table stakes. Meta titles, header tags, internal links, everyone knows these now. Following best practices doesn't differentiate you anymore. It just qualifies you to compete. The differentiation isn't in doing SEO correctly. It's in having something worth ranking. So winners are doing something more now. Original data no one else has, positioning no competitor can copy, and insights from actually understanding buyers. Not just what keywords they search, but why they search them. Everyone is optimizing the same checklist, and the companies that win aren't following the playbook better. They're creating content the playbook can't teach. Hey, quick note. If you're finding this useful and you want more no BS insights about what actually works in SEO in 2026, I share this stuff regularly. Hit subscribe so you don't miss. Alrighty, back to some more brutal truths. Point 11. SEO takes longer than you think. If someone promises you SEO results in 30 days, run. Real momentum takes 3 to 6 months minimum, often longer. But here's the bigger problem. Companies don't fail because SEO doesn't work. They usually fail because they pivot strategies every 2 months before anything has time to compound. So they do one strategy for 8 weeks, no results. They switch to another strategy. 6 weeks in, they pivot again to something else, and you just keep resetting the clock. Every time you change direction, you're starting from zero. Google needs time to index your content, evaluate its quality, and decide where it ranks. SEO is a truly compounding game. It's slow at first, first, and then suddenly it's not. And most companies quit right before it would have started working. Month 4 feels similar to month 2, but then month 6 hits and everything changes. But you'll never see that month 6 if you keep changing the strategy at month 3. It's like planting trees and digging them up every month to check if the roots are still growing. I mean, they'll never grow if you keep doing that. So pick a strategy, give it 6 months, measure what's working, then refine, don't rebuild. Patience is not sexy, but it's the only thing that actually works. Point number 12, backlinks still matter, and they have a friend. Every year someone on LinkedIn will declare that backlinks are dead, and every year they're wrong. Traditional backlinks still drive authority, they push you up in the Google rankings, and that part hasn't really changed. But there's a new layer. Brand mentions without links now carry more weight with AI, and we've run countless tests to understand why certain brands get mentioned in AI results over others. And here's something interesting we found. So someone will prompt ChatGPT, it will pull an answer from about 15 to 20 cited sources, and the more your brand appears across those sources, even without a backlink, the higher the likelihood you get mentioned in the final answer. So now you need both. You build traditional backlinks to rank in Google, but you also focus on getting mentioned in high quality content, forums, third-party review sites, and listicles, even if there's no link, because AI doesn't need a hyperlink to cite you anymore. It just needs to see your name enough times in trusted sources. Authority used to mean links pointing to your site, but now it also means your brand showing up in the conversation. Same goal, but an expanded playbook. Point number 13. Most keyword research misses actual search behavior. Sure, keyword tools show you search volume and competition scores, but they don't show you how people actually think about their problems. The tool might tell you a keyword gets 2,000 searches per month, which is great, but it doesn't tell you the specific pain points driving that search, or the words people use when they describe the problem, or maybe the analogies they make when explaining it to someone else. You only get that from talking to your actual customers. And your sales and support teams, well, they hear the real language buyers actually use. The exact phrases, the objections, the way they even describe what's wrong before they even know a solution exists. And these nuances should be mirrored in your content, not the typical marketing speak. So when someone actually lands on your content and thinks, finally, someone gets it, that builds trust and drastically increases conversion rates. SEO tools show you what people search for, while your actual customer conversations show you why. Point 14, your attribution model is lying to you. And here's what actually happens. So someone discovers your brand through an organic blog post, they read it, they leave, they come back a week later through another article, download a resource and get added to your email list. And 2 weeks later, they see a paid ad, click it and convert. Your attribution model gives all the credit to the paid ad, last click gets the sale, and SEO gets nada. But SEO rarely closes the sale, it influences the entire buying journey. It educates them before they're ready to buy and builds trust before they know they even need you. But here's the fix: self-attribution. Just ask your customers how they discovered you. Add it to your onboarding flow, your sales call, your post-purchase surveys, and then pair that with your analytics data, and you'll see the real picture. SEO might not get the last click, but it probably is getting the first one. And without that first touch, there's no buying journey to track. Hey, if you made it this far, you're clearly serious about getting SEO right. Most people click away after 3 minutes. But stick with me. These next few points are the ones that really separate the companies that win from the ones that just keep spinning their wheels. Point 15. AI search is coming for your traffic. So people aren't just Googling anymore. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and the usage is growing super fast. And these platforms work slightly differently than Google. And we've tested this extensively. So if you ask ChatGPT for recommendations in any category, it pulls from about 16 to 25 sources and provides you with a short list. Every brand that made the final list have 4 or more mentions across those cited sources. Brands with only 1 or 2 mentions are completely invisible. And it's pulling from absolutely everywhere. Comparison articles, third-party reviews, forums, social media, news sites. So if you're not showing up when someone asks for AI recommendations in your category, well then you're invisible to a growing chunk of your market. And the fix here is twofold. Number 1, create your own comparison content. So AI frequently cites comparison pages for buying intent queries. And this is your chance to position yourself against competitors on your terms. Number 2, get your brand mentioned in third-party sources. Reviews, roundups, industry lists, multiple mentions across credible sources will signal a consensus, and that consensus will get you recommended by AI. Point number 16, you can't outsource strategy, but you should outsource execution. So I've heard countless stories where a company hires an SEO agency, they hand over everything in a 30-minute kickoff call, the agency goes ahead and creates a keyword list, they build a content calendar, and they start publishing. And 6 months later, the company says, well, our content isn't converting. And it's because the agency doesn't know your product, your market, or the buyers at all. I mean, they know SEO, but not your business. And collaboration goes both ways. I mean, yes, you can't outsource understanding your business well as you do, but it's also the agency's job to extract your unique insights. So when you're looking for an SEO agency, the most important question is this: what is their process for understanding your business and your customers? A 30-minute onboarding call just won't cut it. At Exceed, we don't write a single word before we talk to every customer-facing department: sales, support, success, even product teams. Because you can outsource execution, but you can't outsource the work of understanding what matters. And the best results always come from partnership. You own the insights that only you have, and the agency owns extracting them and turning them into content that ranks and converts. Point 17, comparison content is the conversion cheat code. So we made one of our software clients rank as an alternative to a main competitor, a keyword with only 60 monthly searches. Most SEO teams would pass immediately, not enough volume, but it actually generated 4 conversions in the first 30 days. That's a 6 to 7% conversion rate, and it's because people searching for an alternative to a competitor aren't browsing. They're actively evaluating options and they're ready to buy. And content that compares products converts at a way higher rate because it mirrors how people actually make decisions. First, they realize they have a need, they search around to compare different options, weigh pros and cons, and then ultimately they decide. And the best part, well, these keywords have very low volume but extremely high buying intent. And most companies are too scared to even mention competitors, and that's a huge mistake because someone is already searching for comparisons and they're gonna find them. The question is whether you're a part of that conversation or completely invisible. And when creating your own content, pull insights from reviews, forums, Reddit, YouTube videos, find what triggers people to search for a specific product or even an alternative to one of your competitors, and then position yourself against those weaknesses. So while everyone else is chasing crowds of browsers, you are talking to the 10 people who have their wallets already out. And that's the difference between traffic and revenue. Point 18, SEO is not a channel, it's a tactic. So SEO used to be quite straightforward. You hire a content writer, publish on blog posts, and wait for the rankings. But that just doesn't work anymore. If the goal of SEO is to show up in search engines, then traditional SEO expertise is not enough. Because search engines are not just indexing your blog anymore, they're also looking at your YouTube videos, your Reddit comments, the original research you published, even podcast transcripts and PR placements. So what used to be, let's just publish some more content, has now turned into a effort across, written content, video, data, community engagement, and digital PR. And that's not something one team can handle on its own. Well, your content team can't create original research without your product team's data, and the SEO team can't optimize video without your brand team making it. Your marketing team can't drive Reddit engagement without your founder or subject matter expert showing up authentically. And the companies that are winning in search today, they aren't just treating SEO as a channel, they're treating it as a growth strategy. And it touches every part of the business. And if you silo it to one team, well, you're competing with half the weapons everyone else is using. So now that you know what's actually true about SEO and what's just noise, you're facing the bigger question: where is all of this going? Because the landscape is shifting faster than most people realize. We're talking AI search, zero click, and the death of the vanity metric. So click this video here because I'll break down the biggest changes coming to SEO in 2026 and exactly what you need to do to stay ahead of them. Everything that's going to separate the winners from everyone else. I'll see you there.